Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I hope
Good
everyone
afternoon,
is doing
sir.
great. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Awesome. So we'll begin now and we'll let others join this meeting in between. Okay. So we are going to start now because we do not want this to be delayed. So I'm just going to share my screen. Before I do that, I'll just give a quick introduction about myself. My name is Rohit. My name is Rohit. I run a small cybersecurity startup known as Hacktify Cybersecurity in Mumbai. Uh, Me and my team, my Shifa is one of my team members. You guys might be aware about her. She's already doing a lot of things in terms of women's in cybersecurity. So me and my team, we are highly passionate and driven towards cybersecurity. We prepare, we make cybersecurity courses on different topics like bug bounties, web application pen testing, network security, recon, CVEs, etc. We have our courses uploaded online, and in the pandemic itself, we made those courses and we got a very good feedback response from everyone. So thank you so much for that. We also believe in giving back to the community. So we have partnered with VTF, Virtually Testing Foundation. You might have heard about it, wherein we host internship programs for the community. We had a really awesome response last time, wherein we did a pen testing internship for 10 weeks. If you are uh, one of the member who was a part of it, you might have seen the amount of efforts of everyone that was into the internship made it really a very good, successful event for everyone. Apart from this, we do a lot of community work that is helpful for everyone. If you want to kickstart your journey in bug bounties, web application pen testing, or cybersecurity in general, today we are going to have a 1 hour session. The agenda would be we would be running down and understanding how any beginner can learn about fundamentals of cybersecurity. What are the most common practices, myths that people have in their mind? How cybersecurity can definitely be a career option in our country. And then we'll move towards a technical session gradually, wherein we will try to understand what is burp suit, and we'll try to see one of our attack, that is authentication bypass, and how it fits in OWASP 2021 that has been recently released. Having said that, let's begin now. All right. So I hope my screen is visible to every one of you.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Rohit.
Awesome. So disclaimer, this presentation is based on extensive research from internet, tools and experience that I'm going to put in what I believe, being in the industry for last many years, what are my point of views of how one can kickstart, jump into cybersecurity domain. Before we start, we are going to see a Zen poem. Uh, I really like this poem because it helps us motivate and encourage before we start any journey. This says to follow the path, you have to look to the master, you have to follow the master, walk with the master, see through the master, and become the master. Each beginner who is going to take up any task or activity should understand what are the first initial steps to be done by looking to the master. Do practical hands-on with it. Start walking with the master on the exact same steps. 3, see and thrive through the vision of your master, and finally overcome and become the master. All right. Why are we having this masterclass today revolving around cybersecurity? Why is cybersecurity given a lot of importance? We all know we have been past this global pandemic recently that we had. We all are out of that now, but a lot of businesses were impacted due to it. So cybersecurity was one of such domain that remained hot despite of COVID-19 downturn. Why? We saw that a lot of businesses had to shut down their activities and they had to switch to a new model that was work from home or remote. But all of their operations could not successfully run. And we also saw when organizations were migrating to this new thing, there was a lot of assets of their organizations which got exposed on public internet. For example, if employees wanted to log in into some of their employee admin panels or login panels, or maybe something that they needed for a client, they had to connect it via from their home networks because they switched to the work from home culture. Now there, a lot of new web applications, new IP addresses, panels got exposed. This means a lot of attack surface for hackers, for threat actors and adversaries. So when a lot of new infrastructure was exposed to these attackers, they got a lot of opportunities to take down a lot of sensitive information for these organizations. And this luckily was helpful for people which we refer as bug bounty hunters, because they came across a lot of new attack surface for organizations which they never had access to. Amazing. Also, organizations understood that cybersecurity was a very key essential point that they should focus on, because there were a lot of attacks that happened, data breaches, which costed a lot of catastrophic damage to these organizations. And now everyone around the globe is talking about how cybersecurity is very vital for everyone, not only on a professional level, but we also know that cybersecurity is connected with us on a personal level as well. We every day use a lot of applications. We are so much connected to a lot of digital things. We are so much exposed towards internet. We should definitely know what are some basic tips of digital hygiene so that we do not fall prey to these attacks. So indeed, I would say that we are an integral part of cybersecurity and we should definitely focus on this. And in upcoming years, we would see a breakthrough in our country as well as around the globe in a lot of competitive hirings as well as workforce gradually taking up cybersecurity as a career option. So the demand of cybersecurity experts in India is high. What does this mean for IT professionals? There is definitely going to be an estimated 3.5 million cybersecurity job need in 2025. But are we ready with skilled workforce? The answer is no. Based on a lot of surveys, we have seen that there are freshers which are being created by educational institute, engineering colleges, but those people are actually not ready for industry. They are only freshers. They are not skilled freshers, which means they lack something which is essential and important for organizations, and that is skills to work in a very competitive environment like cybersecurity, because it deals with a lot of critical infrastructure. So how are we going to fill this gap? The most simplest answer would be learning these skills of we know that is going to come across in just few years. So best cybersecurity jobs in India and corresponding salary information. This is just a short, brief idea that these are the minimum average wages that are being provided to cybersecurity engineers. The data is taken from payscale.com, wherein you can see these are some of the job roles in different domains in cybersecurity. The most common ones are cybersecurity engineer or a security engineer, which gets a minimum package of at least 6 lakhs when he starts his journey, which gradually increases to a very high number based on the amount of skill sets one has throughout his career. Let's understand a quick case study, which is known as the curious case of cybersecurity professional skill gap in India. These are the 5 points that I believe due to which there is a very big skill gap in our country in terms of effective cybersecurity workforce. The first is corporate insecurity and hesitancy to invest. Corporates, big clients are hesitant to invest in a lot of new startups, or new beginners do not get opportunities to work with these organizations initially. Second, lack of awareness of cybersecurity as a potential career option. People yet think that is cybersecurity is a career option. Generally, we come forward from a mentality wherein we see only 3 specific domains that we can work into. It's government, it's private organizations, or we think IT in as in general, but we do not think that yeah, definitely we can go across and do something in cybersecurity as well. So there is a very strong need of the hour that we understand that cybersecurity indeed is a very good career option, and there are plethora of opportunities which we are going to come across in upcoming years. Cycle of outsourcing. There is a lot of outsourcing done for good candidates from other countries. Organization pick up good candidates, good people which can work in very less wages from different countries because they are unable to identify skilled talent in terms of freshers in our country. Lack of educational space of cybersecurity, and I strongly agree, and you might also agree with the fact that we do not have a very strong foundational curriculum in terms of cybersecurity in our school or our colleges. Yeah, there have been plenty of attempts that are being made now, wherein there are new programs which have been started in terms of bachelor's, master's, PhD, specific for cybersecurity domains, but still it's not fulfilling the amount of need for a lot of new beginners who are in this country. Lack of edtech startups, which should focus on providing cybersecurity programs. Specifically, we have seen that there are not many startups which are providing skilled workforce or skilled, um, I mean, um, skilled practical hands-on training to a lot of people through which they can directly understand and fill the gap between industry and their conventional educational curriculum. So what should be a cybersecurity roadmap according to you? So we should understand that these are the 4 fundamental things that we should know, that it is going to be helpful for any beginner if you have never heard that how you're going to jump into cybersecurity. So the first thing, which is foundation. We all know that foundation is very, very important when we are going to do anything. The basic building blocks, if are not very clear, then the whole building might fall apart. Linux, networking, and programming, the 3 most important things that we should know if you are thinking to do something in cybersecurity. There are multiple domains in which we can explore, which best suits us, we can go forward there. But definitely, these are the 3 important things which are going to be very helpful for us in any domain that you pick. Learn about how Linux works, what are Linux directory structure, commands, get your hands on Linux. I would definitely understand. We being a home computer users, we are so much familiar with Windows environment that we generally find Linux to be a little bit tricky and difficult for us. But trust me, once you start using it, you would fall in love with it, because 70 to 80% of the servers currently in this world are running on Linux. And if you get familiar with Linux at a very early stage and you get exposed to it, you would not find it extremely difficult once you land a job in cybersecurity. Networking. This is, you should understand how systems, devices are interconnected with each other, how network works, what is the IP address, what are MAC address, what are different routing protocols, etc. If you don't understand what is NAT, bridge, host only, how devices are interconnecting with each other, then we may find it extremely difficult at a later stage in understanding a lot of concepts that are related to cybersecurity. Programming, this is not, I would say, a must required thing, but if it's always beneficial if you know how to code, if you know how you can solve your problems by writing a quick program. I always say that if you want to be a good hacker or a good cybersecurity professional, you should know how to be efficient. You should not repeat the same thing multiple times. So if you know how to code, you are basically increasing your efficiency by automating most of your low-level job. Once you have got enough knowledge about the foundation, then comes practical hands-on. If you have never done practical hands-on and you only run theory, then definitely it's not going to help you in long run. Real-time problem solving is very essential because life works on solving real-time problems. When you are in an organization, your theory, your concepts that you have learned from those reference books might not turn out to be very helpful to you. And if you don't know how to handle a situation in an organization when there is a ransomware attack or any other attack, which you should know how to stop so that you could basically secure or try to minimize the risk of that event that has occurred in your organization. So for practical hands-on, you should definitely understand and expose yourself to labs, practice environment, etc. Next is research and certification. Research is something that when you try to use your ideas, your mind, and come up with something which is out of box, every one of us are going to do definitely the same things. We are learning, understanding the same tools, but how you are contributing your ideas to it makes the difference. So definitely research is something which is going to help you a lot. With the help of research, you would be able to identify new techniques, new procedures, new tools, new CVEs that can not only help you, your organization as a whole, but to the entire community. With research comes certification. I don't encourage everyone to have a certification because certification does not reflect the values that you have. You can definitely learn everything without getting a certificate as well. But organizations keep this as a bar wherein they bifurcate students or people based on certifications to understand that he or she has undergone a specific training and he has this required skill sets that can definitely be learned from anywhere as well without getting that stamp on yourself that I'm certified hacker, I'm certified professional. So definitely you should expose yourself to research and practicals. So we as an edtech startup believe and always encourage everyone in researching. We have been training students from a very long period of time, and we have seen what are the real shortcomings that a beginner would always face. Hence, we came up with two such programs known as Certified Cybersecurity Professional and Expert, in which we try to inculcate all the practical experience that we have got from the industry into these programs, wherein we help with foundation, practical hands-on research as well. And you also get a certification at the end. Based on that, definitely you're going to look forward for a job because that is our byproduct or end goal. Job and research, if you are looking forward to maybe go and do your PhD, and if you want to research for any organization. With the amount of skill sets that you have learned and undergone, it would be very, very essential and very easy for you to land up a job in a very good organization like Big Fours or FANG companies. Now let's quickly understand about bug bounties, because there's a lot of buzz happening regarding bug bounties in the community. We have seen everywhere on LinkedIn, Twitter, we see a lot of posts bombarding regarding bug bounties. So what actually is bug bounties? Is it free money? It might be, and it looks like seeing the post, but actually in reality, bug bounties is perseverance, persistence, and pushing yourself. We have to strive in identifying those loopholes or those vulnerabilities in an organization which their internal security team might have missed. So definitely we are going to think out of the box to get those rewards. Amount of efforts that other security researchers do, and when you see this post on LinkedIn and Twitter, we just don't understand and calculate the amount of hours which they are putting behind getting those rewards. So if someone says that I identified this vulnerability in just 15 minutes and got a reward of $1,000, you should definitely see the amount of hours he has put in converting those hours in 15 minutes. And that would only come via practice. These are the top 10 rules that you should always follow and keep in mind. These are general rules. Feel free to adapt to these rules and implement this into your life. We believe that you should understand these rules before you start your bug bounty journey. The first one is choose the right bug bounty program. We see a lot of beginners jumping onto those programs which is heavily equipped by a lot of security researchers. Try to pick up a program which is comparatively small. Chances are you might get a unique vulnerability which will definitely push and motivate you to finding more bugs. I see a lot of beginners jumping onto programs like Google, Apple, Yahoo, unfortunately are not able to identify by trying a lot of efforts, and they get demotivated. So definitely picking the right bug bounty program is essential. Solve labs, pick small programs, get motivated, don't run behind monetary rewards in the beginning. Once you are comfortable with these practicals, labs, exercise, then definitely it is going to help you a lot. Next is recon. Don't DDoS with active scans and automated scanners. I highly encourage not to rely on tools for bug bounties, because tools can be purchased, equipped by internal security team of those programs as well. Bug bounties is all about how you think out of the box and craft manual payloads or manual methodology. Remember, guys, this is not a task through which if I run all my tools, I would be the richest bug bounty hunter in this world. It's definitely not like that. Tools will help you consolidate those bits of data that you can identify, but you have to put in your minds, your methodology, thinking out of the box that will help you get the correct bug. Don't expect rewards. Now, this might sound a little bit funny that in bug bounties, we should not expect rewards. But definitely trust me, based on our experience that I have seen, if you don't expect rewards out of the bugs that you're going to report, let it be a surprise and you would never be demotivated or burned out. Develop your flow of approach and methodology. You should definitely be able to visualize what you're going to do next. What are your steps? And if you don't have a clear methodology, trust me, you will find yourself in a difficult position when you're going to test multiple applications throughout. As we know, websites are made on different technology stacks. You should definitely keep a methodology with you or a checklist that helps you keep on a track so that you do not skip some issues when you're identifying some other issues. Most important step, surround yourself with correct people. Surround yourself with bug bounty community, people who think alike, same, because they will keep you motivated automatically. So please surround yourself with the correct people, the correct community. Try to automate stuff as you can. Being a beginner, I don't say that you should know how to automate your stuff, but you should definitely know that you are not doing the things multiple times. At least the low level stuff, try to automate it using any programming language that you choose. Make your own checklist. Make your own checklist, because this is a human tendency. We cannot remember everything. We might forget one test case out of 10. And it might be a case that that test case that we just skipped might be found by someone else. So keeping a checklist keeps us on track so that we do not miss or skip test cases when we are going to do on bug bounty programs. When you find a bug, chain it. Whenever you identify a bug, you should know what is the impact of the issue. So this and the next point combinedly says that bug bounties is all about creating some security impact. If you do not have an impact of any bug, please don't report it, because organizations themselves know they already are doing their security testing from their side. So always try to report a bug which contains a severity, which contains an impact. So any bug that you identify, ask yourself two questions. What is the impact of this bug to the organization from a business perspective? What is the impact of this bug to the customer from a user's perspective? And if you are able to answer both those questions, then you can definitely report the bug to the organization. Last, but the most important one, which is mental health. Mental health is very important in bug bounties because a lot of people get burned out very soon when they don't find rewards. But that is absolutely fine. It happens with everyone. No one is perfect in bug bounties. There are a lot of chances or a lot of time when we might also get duplicate bugs, and that's absolutely fine. Getting duplicate bugs means that we are on the right track. Why? Because we have eventually identified a correct bug. It is just a matter of time that someone else reported it before us. So that does not mean that we should get demotivated. You are on the right track and keep hunting, and you definitely would get a right bug on a right time. Recon, also known as reconnaissance. In simple terms, this is information gathering. We should know how to do information gathering, because in this masterclass, we are not only going to understand about the type of attacks that one can do, but how out of the box we can think. So we can increase the attack surface when we are going to hunt on any program. For instance, let's say Facebook.com. We all know Facebook has a very good and very wide bug bounty program. But do we also know that Facebook has all its assets in scope? That means if I identify a bug on its subdomain, it is also considered in scope. If I identify a bug on its acquisition, it is also considered in scope. If I identify a bug on any of its IP address from its ASN range, is also considered in scope. That means if we try to take a less traveled road, then we might end up finding good bugs faster than others. And this would help us be successful in bug bounties. So based on this, I have divided recon in 3 buckets, which I also call as scope: small scope, medium scope, and large scope. So what is small scope recon? Here we have our target as www.example.com. No other subdomain is in scope, no ASN range, no acquisition, no parent company, nothing, only this target. These are some of the techniques that you would try onto this target. Now it's extremely difficult to explain all of the techniques in very short timeline, but definitely you should try these techniques on a target initially so that you are able to identify a lot of useful sensitive information through which now you can proceed towards identifying the technical issues from OWASP. Next is medium scope based recon, wherein the organization says, hey Rohit, you can test every subdomain that belongs to us. It is in scope. So something like star.example.com. Here, we are going to do the same things that we did in small scope, which is marked in yellow, but we are also going to now introduce something which is new, which is marked in green. which is identifying a list of subdomains, identifying subdomains based on status codes, subdomain takeovers, S3 misconfiguration, subdomain brute forcing, and then we do the usual stuff that we do in small scope recon, and then we move forward to the OWASP top 10 technical issues. So how do we approach a medium scope based organization or a target? So let's assume, then this is a very common question that I always get, that I'm trying to hunt on a program which is Facebook or Apple, but I get a lot of subdomains. So Apple has approximately 26,000 subdomains, and people get confused and ask a question, which is, how do I know from which subdomain should I start and which subdomain is vulnerable? And that absolutely no magic that I would know which subdomain is vulnerable out of those 26,000 subdomains. But there is definitely a tip that we can use. So let's assume if you have subdomains which are more than 1,000 for any target, next step we do is identify subdomain based on status codes, and we separate all the subdomains. Status codes is 200 OK, 301, 302, 403. So this way we have a list of subdomains which are working, which are redirecting, and which are blocking our request for forbidden subdomains. Now we start taking screenshots of these subdomains. We don't do this manually. There are many tools. We can use GoWitness, Aquatone, Ghoster, etc. Take screenshots of all those domains. Now, after we have taken the screenshots, filter those screenshots based on page sizes. Now we know that if there is a dynamic application on blog.apple.com, then the dynamic application would have a larger page size. And an application like list.apple.com, where there is directory listing enabled, would have a smaller page size, right? So this way I can sort all the pages, and then I'll quickly have a glance over all the pages, and you would be able to see that, okay, these are some pages where there are logins. So I need to test for authentication issues. Here there are some pages which contains input boxes, feedback forms, where I can test for XSS or SQL. And these are some pages which are static, wherein I need to do directory brute forcing. I need to do other attacks that I would generally do onto a static page. This helps us understand the entire attack surface of an organization so that we do not get lost. And there are more such attacks that we can do. That is filtering CNAME records, doing subdomain takeovers, running Nmap on those ports, identifying if there is an older software, downloading a GitHub exploit, using a Metasploit and trying to exploit it. Let's understand what is large scope. Large scope recon is for organizations which have every asset in scope. Apple, Facebook, Google, Yahoo, Verizon Media have a large scope program. You can report anything that you identify is connected to them under their bug bounty program. So what do we do new in these large scope programs? Mentioned in green, you can see we start identifying their seeds and roots. ASN enumeration. We try to identify their asynchronous names that has been given to them. That is basically a number which represents the IP address range which have been blocked or which have been purchased by any organization. From those IP addresses, we identify the live host of IP addresses. Then we start identifying acquisitions. You can identify acquisitions from Crunchbase, Wikipedia. For example, Apple has acquired what organizations in 2019 and 2020. Identify issues on those organizations. Do DNS and SSL enumeration. So based on SSL certificate as well, we can identify a lot of websites. Okay, so let me just show you one quick example. Let me go on Shodan. When I go on Shodan, I'm going to search apple.com and I hit enter. Just a moment. So I'm going to log out. So I'm going to sign in my Shodan account. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to search what are the assets of Apple that are connected to Shodan. I can see how many assets are there. 1,174. Now Shodan is an internet connected search engine from where I can identify hosts that are connected to internet. What if I change this query a little bit more and I say SSL colon and I hit enter? See, the number of hosts drastically changed. So now we have more than 1 lakh hosts. Before we had only 1000 hosts. So we can now also enumerate targets based on SSL certificates that have been provided. And this is a really, really nice technique to identify issues. If you guys are aware about the recent bug that has been identified, which is authentication bypass in Zabbix. This is an open source software which is used for monitoring purposes. If you scroll down and if you just click on top organizations that uses Zabbix. So once you are over here, you can also filter what organizations used and how you can identify Zabbix based on other details as can be seen from here. So here I came to know that there are at least 93 hosts of Google that uses Zabbix. So let's try to find something for Microsoft. So there are at least 70 hosts of Microsoft that are currently using Zabbix. Now, there's a CVE in Zabbix that has recently been popped up, which is authentication bypass. So I'll just simply click on Microsoft Corporation. And now if you can look, the query is Zabbix organization Microsoft Corporation. And these are all the hosts that belongs to Microsoft Corporation. I can pick up some programs from here and I can start identifying if they are vulnerable or no. So implement Shodan into your methodology because it is going to be helpful to you. One such tip that I gave was using SSL certificates enumeration, which increases your targets. Let's understand about OWASP Top 10, 2013, 2017, and 2021. You can see over here on your screen, on your left is 2013, then in the center is 2017, and on the right is 2021. So what is OWASP, you might ask? OWASP stands for Open Web Application Security Project. Open Web Application Security Project is a baseline which is used for identification and categorization of web-based vulnerabilities. So any bug that we find, we are going to put that under a category of OWASP. As you can see on your screen, in 2013, we have 10 such categories. 2017 also 10, and 2021 also 10. In 2013, you can see the first category is injection. So injection is a category or a bug class in which we are going to add multiple vulnerabilities. For example, SQL injection, HTML injection, LDAP injection, etc. So these are vulnerability types which are going to be categorized under a category according to OWASP, which is known as injection. Okay. Similarly, you can see broken authentication. So all the issues related to authentication bypass or session related issues will fall under the category that is BASM, broken authentication and session management. Okay. Similarly, XSS and so on. We then identified a new version of OWASP in 2017. Now, the version comes up with a lot of inputs from the community and a lot of surveys through which the team at OWASP comes up with a new version. So 2017 version, as you can see, again had 10 vulnerabilities, and there were new things which were added. For example, insecure deserialization was added. Let's move on to the 2021 version, which has been released recently in late 2021, in which you cannot identify XSS, cross-site scripting, which was present in 2013 and 2017. XSS was an issue that got combined in injection. Why? Because XSS itself is a bug, which is JavaScript injection. Okay, so I'm just giving you guys a very high level idea of OWASP. Okay, for now, this is the 2013 versus 2017 version. This is 2017 versus 2021 version. We have to understand all the categories of these bugs to understand all the vulnerabilities that we are going to learn. In 2021, you can see insecure design is something which is added new. Next is software data integrity failures on A08-2021, which is added as new, and A10-2021 server-side request forgery or SSRF, which is added new. There was a lot of heated debate in the community as well regarding the 2021 version, because OWASP puts top 10 as categories wherein we can identify a vulnerability, which is SSRF. SSRF itself is not a category, but a vulnerability which is added, but that's absolutely fine. Based on the survey, it was identified SSRF to being in the top, making itself in the top 10 list because it was identified with a lot of clients and vendors. Okay, so we understand here that there are three main vulnerabilities which are added. Insecure design explains that how an application is designed insecurely, and there are vulnerabilities or flaws in the designing of the application itself, which makes it vulnerable. Next is software and data integrity failures, wherein you can see on your left, insecure deserialization is the issue which got combined into this. Now, I'm just trying to explain you what are the new changes that have been done. I'm not trying to explain the vulnerabilities because in this specific time, it would be extremely difficult to explain each vulnerability category. We're just trying to understand the highlights of the difference between both. And the last one was SSRF, which is a vulnerability, not a category, but which was added in 2021. Burp Suite. Now let's do a quick practical of Burp Suite and let's understand how Burp Suite is going to be helpful to us. Okay, so we can download Burp Suite from porttrigger.net, or you can simply go in your browser and say Burp Suite download. It will take you the first official website. You need to go straight to downloads. And from here, you need to download the compatible version for your system. I'm currently on macOS Intel, so I'm going to download this. So I'm going to click over here and it will start downloading. Once it is downloaded, you need to install it. So I have successfully installed it as well. So I'll show you how does it looks like. So I'm going to open up my Burp Suite Community Edition, which is a free edition for the open source for the community. So I'm going to start Burp Suite now, and it looks something like this. Now, what is Burp Suite, you might ask? Burp Suite is a proxy tool which sits between a client and a server. So let's say I want to send a message to my friend right now. So I'm the client, which is Rohit. The server is Facebook because I want to send a message via Facebook to my friend. So the request that is going to go from my computer is going to pass through the Burp proxy. Burp proxy is going to sit between my browser and the server, that is Facebook. So all the traffic is going to transmit, that is the request and the response will transmit via Burp proxy. Yeah. All right. So we need to configure Burp. So we need to go in proxy options and quickly configure Burp with my Firefox browser. And I'm going to open up google.com. Okay, so google.com has successfully opened. Now, we are going to do a practical of authentication bypass. Let's do this on a live website. Okay. Now, what is authentication bypass? Authentication bypass means that we will not use the correct credentials to log in into an account, right? We will bypass the authentication for a website. Now, this web application has already been reported for the flaw that I'm going to demonstrate, and they are in the process of fixing this. So what is the issue on this website? Now, as this is an e-commerce application, I'm going to make you guys understand the impact of the severity that has been identified on the application. So over here, I'm going to log in my account. So I'm going to use my phone number and I'm going to say login using OTP. I'm going to capture this request in Burp Suite. So when I'm going to hit login using OTP, the request is going to be sent to the server of this web application. See what happens. When I click on login using OTP, I am able to capture the request in Burp because I told in the beginning that Burp is a tool which is going to sit between my computer and the server. Okay, so here I'm trying to communicate to whom? To this website, which is tokri.co.in, as we can see over here. So now this request contains my mobile number, a token ID, and a parameter signature. This is the request that is going. So if you guys can look over here closely, this is a request. I want to see the response to this request, right? So I will say action, do intercept response to this request because I want to see the response. The vulnerability that lies over here is that the web application is exposing the OTP that a user will receive already to the attacker. Can we see this? The OTP is 4244. Let's copy this. So when the application is leaking a OTP already like this, the attacker can now directly use this OTP and get signed in into the application. Okay. There is some issue with the front end of the application. It's not taking me inside. So I'm just going to show you a video that I took just before this. Okay. So I'm going to, can you guys see here again, the OTP is being exposed 8924 and I'm going to receive the same OTP. Now let's copy this OTP, go back to the application and try to log in with this. And this is the OTP that the victim will receive, but the attacker already have the OTP with himself in the stage 1. And we can see over here, I am successfully logged in into the victim's account. If you can see closely on your right over here, can you guys see membership? So this web application also allows a membership wherein I can purchase a membership and that can be misused. Similar to what have a membership on Swiggy and Zomato, okay, which gives us some extra benefits and perks. On this web application itself, we also have a membership wherein this can be misused as well. If you look, the next option, which is after membership, is wallet. Now, majority of the applications now have this functionality where we can add money to our wallets so that we can use it directly from there. This application also has a similar functionality. So now you think, guys, the impact and the severity, as I said initially when we started the presentation, that whenever you identify any issue, you should know 2 questions. What is the impact to the organization? What is the impact to the user? So here the impact to the organization first is, I could log in into anyone's account. Here, there is one more functionality, that is a referral, that I can abuse. So when I refer someone, I get some amount of money as a referral bonus. So I can take up X number of phone numbers, make account from there and abuse a referrer functionality. Also, I'm able to see my orders, address book of other users, take up this data, put it up on deep web, dark web for data analytics, and I can sell that data as well. There's also an option of loyalty and customer support. So I could possibly try to engage all the customer support agents via like this. That could be a potential workforce loss for an organization. Coming to an user's perspective, you already guys know what is the user impact over here. I have done an account takeover of any user. I could log in into his account, check his last order details, his address book, misuse his membership, misuse his money from his wallet. If you're able to justify both the scenarios, both the answers, then your report is good to go and you can send it to the bug bounty program. Make sure you always mention these scenarios that you have thought into your report as well, because this helps the other person on the as a program owner who's going to try your report understand in the same direction that you are thinking, which helps you increase the overall impact as well as the reward of your report. I hope this is clear with everyone and you're able to understand this small practical demonstration that we did for authentication bypass attack. Okay. Mind mapping. As I said initially, we should visualize what are the steps that we are going to do. To visualize just your day-to-day routine that you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, just try to put that in a graphical representation on a paper and try to see. If you make a schedule like this and you try to visualize it, you would be able to know that these are certain things that I do every day in my normal routine that helps you reinforce the same thing again and again so that you do not forget things and you be punctual with your time management as well. Let's not discuss about that. Let's discuss about how mind mapping and visualizing things can be helpful to you in bug bounties and cybersecurity. So if you create a mind map, it definitely keeps you on a track on visualizing things of what you could possibly do if a web application is running, which is a static application or a dynamic application, or if the application runs on a technology stack that is Apache. So I know I can run Apache Tomcat exploits, I can test for Apache struts, etc. If a target is running on JSP, maybe I can do some attacks. If a target is running on XYZ underlying technology, I know these are the attacks that I would do, right? So keeping a track of all the things that we are going to do in our methodology is known as mind mapping. You guys definitely can create a mind map of your methodology that would be helpful for you as well as for others as well from learning. So I have created a small mind map which tries to say what are the things that I generally do in my methodology when I start doing things in bug bounties or pen testing. Definitely, you can take uh, reference of this, use it, try to modify it, because I believe everyone thinks out of the box, and there's definitely a lot of room for me, for you, for everyone to learn from each other, because we think in new ways and new idea comes to every one of us. All right, so we are at the end of the presentation. So this is a program that we have recently launched and we have got very good success to this program. We call it as CCSP, Certified Cybersecurity Professional. So you guys are aware about the programs that we run online. We have got a lot of love from the community. So thank you so much for trusting us, believing in us for the Udemy programs, as well as for the VTF internship. We have recently launched one such program in which we are going to start teaching from scratch, which is ethical hacking, infrastructure pen testing, forensics, and web application pen testing. If you want to get more details regarding this program, definitely reach out to me and Shifa anytime. This is a curriculum for each program. In case you're interested, feel free to get in touch and we'll share this with you as well. Thank you. In case you have any questions, we have a 10 minutes window for Q&A, wherein we will discuss about anything that you want to share or any questions that you have. Yes. So what is the course fees for CCSP? Yes. So we have been running, and as we have newly, after the pandemic started, a new office over here, we are running a good discount. So these details would be conveyed by Shifa, and she can let you know the curriculum, the fees, everything, all the questions that you have. Can you send the notes or resources? Yes. So I would be uploading the presentation that we did today, and I would be sharing the link with all of you in the group, as well as we are going to upload the presentation on my GitHub page from where you can download it and you can view it. How beneficial is CEH for a fresher in India in today's date? From an industry perspective, would you recommend it? All right. So the first thing is you should understand the kind of practical exposure that you get from any course, any training program, any certification that you are going to undergo. If you're not getting practical hands-on into any program, then it's just useless, because you're not going to learn and mug up theory and do that in your industry, right? You need to do practical hands-on. So any certification you pick, and if you think that it justifies what you're expecting from it in terms of practical hands-on and what industry wants, then you can definitely go ahead with that. Any prerequisite for joining these courses? So there is no prerequisite for joining these courses. Anyone from any background can join it. And I would really would like to share that we have a lot of individuals from different backgrounds joining the training program and finding it to be really useful. We have individuals joining from commerce background, arts background as well. They are doing very good. They have landed good jobs in Big Fours. We have tie-ups with organizations, and we definitely can push forward and help you in getting and landing a job as well. But always remember, it's always the amount of efforts that we put in you are required from your side as well. Okay. And definitely, if you're from a non-technical background as well, you can definitely join the training program. Any internship program in upcoming days related to cybersecurity, like pen testing from VTF? So I would like to just give an update for this. For the last internship that we did, was actually the last internship with VTF that we did. We are now moving ahead with a new model, which is we will not conduct any pen testing internship, but we will conduct CDF hackathons for everyone, so that it happens multiple times in a year and a lot of people can participate into it. So we would be making 2 days multiple hackathons. We're actually already working on it, wherein we would take training sessions for you for 2 to 3 days, from which then you can solve those hackathons and you can win some prizes, goodies as well. So this is a new model that we have come up with, and we'll be following that in 2022. Okay, so there's a lot of questions coming up. What is the pros and cons in private and government security jobs? So first of all, there are very, very less cybersecurity jobs related to government. So if you want to join government of India pertaining to cybersecurity, the opportunity scale is very less, because there are not a lot of openings that come up specifically in this field. Most of the market has been captured by private organizations, Big Fours. So there are a lot of opportunities for you that you can go in private organizations, Big Four companies, FANG companies, and you would see that there is a lot of opportunities as well, and a lot of platform and good incentives and good salary wages that are being paid as well. I would like to get deep into web application security pen testing. What would be the best suitable program for me? This Surinder, definitely you can get in touch with us after this, and we would definitely recommend you a best suitable program based on your profile, what you're already doing after having a discussion with you. So any one of you, if you guys are interested in any of the programs, or if you want any guidance, please get in touch with us. We are very open to the community. We love to interact with a lot of people. So get in touch with us. You can inquire about any questions that you have. Maybe if you want to just know what is a career path of what you can follow, or if you want to get enrolled in any of the training programs or anything like that, please get in touch with Shifa and me. We are always open for a talk. Do companies require a coding test for investing MS or MBA for pen testing jobs? Some organizations are following this model, in which now they take a coding test. Some organizations take a CTF test, which is basically they give you a CTF task and they ask you to solve a CTF. Once you're able to solve a CTF, you get onboarded onto that organization. Because this is what I'm trying to explain since the beginning, that even if you learn theory from books It is not going to be helpful for you when you join an organization, because if you don't know practical hands-on, you wouldn't be able to fit there, because practical hands-on is what is required, because that is what you have to do in any organization. So just to test that before taking you on board in any organization, they do have a CTF test wherein you need to showcase your skills by identifying some issues. And a good point over here is, a good thing is, in our training programs, we do train people for CTFs. We host our private CTFs, which are exactly similar and replica of how organizations would host. So you get an exact feel and you understand, and you're able to solve those CTFs, and you get an idea of how it is going to be at a later point of time. Any plans to update your Udemy courses? That's a good question, Aniket. Yes, we are planning to that. For that, actually, we are now going to update our older programs as well as we have something which is very interesting for every one of you, new programs that we have created, which you'll find it to be really, really interesting. And we are soon going to launch these programs on new programs that we have created from last 1.5 years for the community on Udemy too. Courses would be live or pre-recorded. So the training programs that we are going to do, the one that we saw, which was CCSP, is going to be a live program, instructor-led hands-on program, wherein I connect, and we are going to do a live interaction for that. MS or MBA programs in cybersecurity abroad is worth investing. So it depends upon you, what is your focus for the upcoming next few years. What are you thinking? In India, there are a lot of new educational premier institutes that have been also opened up, making MS or MBA programs. But it again depends upon you, that what is your future course of action, what you are thinking down the line for next 4 to 5 years. If you are thinking that you want to learn, if you're research oriented, definitely you can go for a MS or MBA program from a good reputed educational institute. First, to see what they are trying to teach you, definitely you can go, there is an option. If you also have deeper pockets, you can definitely go in good countries to learn about these programs. But if you are thinking that you wouldn't be able to afford any such program in US or UK or doing an MS, then that's absolutely fine. There is no such criteria which says that you have to do MS or MBA from an international accredited educational institute. So that is absolutely fine. Thank you, sir, for answering my questions. I would like to meet you one day. I've seen all your courses. Thank you so much, Dipesh. I would love to meet you, and I would love to meet all of you as well. Do you take breaks in week for a whole day? That's a really nice question. Yes, I do take breaks in between every day, because I believe taking breaks helps you regenerate your energy so that you can focus again on your work. Okay, I do not recommend everyone to work ruthlessly all the while. It is very important for you to take breaks so that you are on track. So definitely take breaks. Danish, amazing session. Thank you so much, Danish. Is CDF course will start from scratch? If you don't know anything, can we take up the concepts easily? Yes, Prasanna. We believe and we think that anyone who comes on board with us for any of our training programs is considered to be a basic fresher. So we start from scratch. Even if you know some concepts, it is going to be a revision for you, because we believe in building a very strong foundation first, and then we gradually move ahead to the intermediate and expert things. Who is your mentor? So everyone in the community from where I learn is my mentor. I do not have, I would definitely would not say that XYZ person is my mentor. I learn from everyone every day. So everyone is my mentor. Everyone who supports me into my day-to-day life is my mentor. What is your educational background? So I have done Bachelor's of Engineering in Electronics and Communication. After that, I have done a post-graduation in IT Infrastructure and System Security. After that, I have done one more post-graduation degree in Information Security. So I have engineering and 2 post-graduation degrees. Amazing and informative session. Thank you so much, Aditya. Thank you. Okay, so before we end this, we have Shifa with us as well, and she would definitely would like to speak something with every one of you. Over to you, Shifa.
Yeah. Hi everyone. So I have to do 2 announcements. One is that I have already posted a link into the chat section for MCQs. So you can solve this MCQs, and we are offering 50% discount on our courses if you manage to complete and get all the correct answers for this MCQs, which I have posted in chat. And second thing, the announcement that I have to do is you will also get a participation certificate for this training program. Again, I'm going to paste another link into the chat section from where you can download your participation certificate. Yeah, if any doubts you have, you can reach out to me on my mail address or LinkedIn, or I'll also post my WhatsApp number over here. Yeah. So you can WhatsApp me anytime on this number. If you have more questions for me and Rohit, so we are here for next 5 minutes. We'll complete this up. Send again. Okay. I'll just get the link. I cannot. I'll do it from my laptop, guys. 1 minute.
Done. Thank you everyone for pasting the link. So this is an MCQ form and everyone is spamming. So thank you.
They're not spamming, they're helping.
They are helping actually. Do you guys have any questions? Feel free to ask. Any questions, anything that you want to share? We are still connected for next 5 minutes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, is there any chance that you are keeping cyber awareness sessions regarding Hacktify?
So Aditya, yes, we are planning for taking some cybersecurity awareness sessions in upcoming time, and we definitely we actually had took a lot of cybersecurity awareness sessions in the past. Some of there which are already available on our YouTube channel, and we are going to take up some as well in future. Now the calendar for it, we are going to just let everyone know via our social media handles on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So at that time, you'll come to know for these dates.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Your address shows Andheri West, isn't it East? So that's correct, Meg. The address is East. There's a small typing error by the design team that was done into the flyer or the posters. So thank you for spotting this. It's East, it's not West. Okay, want to meet you. Definitely look forward to meet every one of you. Now you guys can download certificate of participation for this masterclass from the link that has been shared by Shifa. From there, you can download us, you can sign up, you can enroll, and you can download the certificate of participation for today's masterclass. Apart from this, anyone, if you have any questions that you come up with after the session, feel free to get in touch with us on WhatsApp. Shifa has already pasted her number, and we would definitely will look forward to talk to you. Okay, so now we are going to wind up, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your time and being really interactive throughout this session. We would definitely come up with something which is good day ahead. Good day to you as well, Raghav. Good day to everyone. We would definitely come up with more such sessions in upcoming weeks and upcoming days for every one of you. Okay, so on behalf of the entire Hacktify team, I would like to thank Shifa and everyone who has been very supportive to make this masterclass happen. So thank you, and thank you all the participants for joining and giving your valuable time. We look forward to connect with you and see you in class if you're joining, if you're interested in joining for any of the training programs and any questions that you have. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.